Good evening and welcome to Rogers TV, home of your Western Mustangs. I'm your host, Patrice Whiffen, and your Western Mustangs are taking on the visiting McMaster Marauders in tonight's doubleheader basketball action here at Alumni Hall. As you see, the game has already started, so we'll throw things over to Kevin Gordon and Beth M. Jenkins for their call on tonight's game.
Well, thank you very much, Patrice. Fantastic OUA West women's action here at Alumni Hall on a beautiful Wednesday evening. My name is Kevin Gordon. Alongside me tonight on the color mic, Beth M. Jenkins. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, Beth. Beth, one of our former Mustang players, spent some time in the purple and white, so we'll be sure to pick her brain as we proceed through tonight's game. Western did come away with the opening tip off a Parks steal. Was able to get a wide open shot for Parks along the left baseline. Unfortunately, she was not able to convert. Here we are, the Marauders with their second possession of the game, and will reset the shot clock off the kick ball by Parks. Taylor Smith wearing number 11 for the Marauders tonight, a name you will hear plenty of. There is the dump in, going to work nice and early for the Marauders. Haley Milligan, someone that Coach Burns told me before the game, Haley Milligan must have a good game for these Marauders to be successful. Jackie Self playing great ball of late for the Mustangs. Post entry for Letty. Double team comes. She goes back outside. Caitlin Liddy. Little shimmy shake to get it to the baseline. Taylor Smith, one of the premier players in Ontario, matched by her Mustang counterpart, Amanda Anderson. Will be a terrific battle watching those two guards go at each other tonight. Here we have an illegal screen called off the ball by the looks of things. Pardon me, perhaps a 3-second violation right there in the key. Mustang turnover. Now, Beth, in your time in the league, did your career overlap with the career of Taylor Smith at McMaster?
Actually, yeah, I grew up playing against her. I'm a local from Hamilton, so grew up playing against her in high school, and she entered MAC just a year after I did, and she's been going 5 years head-to-head against Amanda Anderson. So it's great to see her here on Amanda Senior tonight and continue their rivalry.
Certainly one of the better matchups around Ontario women's basketball, and we've been treated to it for a couple of years now, and there is Milligan having herself a night already, getting work done on the inside. 4-2 in favor of McMaster here. Just over 2 minutes gone by in the opening stanza. Self working it one-on-one, taking it right at Jackie Nimick. Nimick, the rookie out of Vinbrook, Ontario.
Played at St. Thomas More. Great basketball program there.
Hamilton certainly known around Ontario for producing some of the finest women's basketball players in the country. Here is Anderson off the inbounds, and many of those Hamilton players have worn the purple and white over the years. Names like Uzanis and Lamparski jump to mind in recent years, of course. Names like Bartolotta and, of course, Vesperini from days gone by.
Kelly, Jenny, and Jacqueline, now part of the Western team, all from the Hamilton and surrounding areas. So it's great to see them go against MAC. We should have a good crowd here tonight.
Tonight, of course, is senior night. We will have Lauren Parks. There's a jumper put up nice and early. That is Jacqueline Nimick, the rookie out of Benbrook. 6-footer, likes the 20-footer.
Looks like they're going into Haley quite a bit. Caitlin's going to have to do a great job on her tonight. So
there's a hard take by Parks, and Parks is rejected on the baseline with that whistle. We're going to take a quick look now with substitutions coming in at the keys to the victory tonight for those McMaster Marauders. And McMaster certainly has their hands full tonight, and if they are going to come away with a victory, certainly they are going to have to make sure that they get points in the paint, something that Coach Burns alluded to earlier. They must score off of penetration. They must score by dumping it into players like Milligan, who's working hard against Letty right now. In addition, they must have their perimeter defense to the utmost degree tonight, as they are facing, if not the best, certainly one of the top 2 or 3 players in the OUA West, Amanda Anderson. Milligan, give her 6 on the evening already. Milligan doing a job inside. It's Milligan 6, Mustangs 2. Give Nimick a basket. 8-2 for the Marauders right now. Letty, traveling violation. And with that, let's take a look at the Mustangs' keys to victory in this evening's game. Beth.
Well, it looks like Steph's looking to contain possibly one of the potential OUA players of the year, Taylor Smith. It's going to be a battle between her, Amanda, and Jessica Clemenson from Windsor for that player of the year.
Certainly some of the finest, as we've said, and those all-star ballots will be going being returned to the OUA offices shortly. And you said the two other names in the conversation. It is Smith, Anderson, and Clemenson, certainly at the top of most coaches' minds right now. In addition, Jackie Self, if she can have herself a good game, there's a nice steal right there off the top, all the way end line to end line. That was Nicole Rosenkrantz having a terrific rookie campaign for these Marauders, giving Becky Williams, the fine Western rookie, all she can handle in terms of a race for Rookie of the Year honors in the West. Two kids that have come in. Of course, Clemenson as well, depending on how the voters look at her career. Whether she is a rookie to the OUA, so certainly someone that could be in the conversation as well. There's Rosenkrantz. Pardon me.
Nimick.
That is Nimick dropping it.
She's also a rookie out of Hamilton.
A fine recruiting class brought in by Coach Burns with these Marauders.
It looks like Rebecca Rewe's not out there tonight, so possible injury for McMaster there. She's a tough on-ball defender, and it might hurt them a little bit, but...
And we have a foul on the rebound. Looks like that one's going against McMaster. That'll be their third foul of the opening stanza, almost 4 minutes gone by. Just to pick up on your point about Rewe right there, Rewe and Sherratt, neither of them, two typical starters, neither of them in the lineup tonight. Talking to Coach Burns before the game, it's actually academic issues that have precluded them from joining the team tonight. They were not able to get an exam switched. While they are completely eligible academically to play tonight, they were unable to get some assistance from their academic side of things to have an exam switch so they could participate with their team tonight. So a huge loss, of course, for these Marauders. They are listed on the game sheet, however, so should they arrive for the second half, which Coach Burns is very hopeful of, they would be able to jump in there and play immediately upon arrival. The Mustangs doing a job defensively right now, and boy, they're going to have to find a way to chip back into this game. All of a sudden, 10-2 the score for Mac. Mac getting things going early offensively.
Yeah, the Mustangs are going to need to take care of the ball a little bit better.
That is Melissa Rondinelli inbounds the ball to Amanda Anderson. Anderson working hard against Smith. Smith will ride her the entire way up the court, gets aggressive going after that ball, and no surprise right there. We know that Taylor Smith loves to get her hands on the ball, and she does lead McMaster with 29 steals on the season. Moss on the court for the Mustangs, along with Molden, Anderson, Rondinelli, and Williams. Moss certainly somebody that will have to be tracked well by the Marauders as she leads these Mustangs in three-point shooting percentage. She loves leaking to that arc, and here is the pass. Hits Moss. Nice dump in for Rondinelli. ISO in the post on the much smaller Taylor Smith, and that's just too easy for Melissa Rondinelli.
It's great to see her back after coming back off that ankle injury. Also Moss and Kelly on the floor, and Becky also back, hopefully almost at 100%.
Dump inside. Working hard, nice block by Moss. He got a piece of the ball off Rosenkrantz, no good. Williams pushing for the Mustangs. Looking for Molden in transition, can't find her. Moss leaks to the arc. Working on Nimick, and here's Williams, turns the corner. The quick step, Becky Williams gets the edge, takes it right in. No help D for the Marauders. Now, Beth, when you've got a lineup out there with a ton of shooters, as Western has right now, how hard is it to come off of your primary responsibility for that help defense?
It's tough. Western's packed, great shooters. Moss, Anderson, Becky, Kelly, all great shooters.
And we'll take another look here on the replay at that last drive by Williams. Well, we had the foul called, sending Nimick to the line. There was Williams taking it hard to the hoop. And you see right there, Nicole Rosenkrantz unable to get off her man and come over in time with the help defense. She was too concerned about her primary responsibility. And that's something that Coach Burns alluded to before the game. She knows that the Mustangs also want to get points in the paint tonight. They know that penetration from the perimeter spots is going to be an issue. And they have to make sure that when they do come help off their man, they close back out on these terrific purple and white shooters. Last touched by the Marauders. Possession for the Mustangs on the end line. It is Bonomo, Leger, Burns on the court there for the Marauders, along with Milligan and Smith. Williams working the ball. Terrific, suffocating defense by Emily Leger right there on Becky Williams, and 3 in the key violation looked like on Rondinelli there. She got caught sleeping with a foot in the key. Backcourt pressure applied by the Mustangs. Lauren Parks, graduating senior to be honored later this evening, ready to check back in for the Mustangs. Both she and Amanda Anderson finishing off 2 fantastic 5-year careers here with the purple and white. We will see them honored later on. There's Smith to the arc. Rolls one out there, and Leger knows what to do with it. Taylor Smith, swift Taylor Smith, adding to her 100-plus assists on the season, one of the best in the CIS, into the game tonight with 133 in 18 games.
Yeah, Taylor's leading the country in assists at 7.4 assists per game, so I'm pretty sure she's about 50 ahead of anyone else, so.
You contrast that, nice entry pass, Haley Milligan! And Coach Burns, that's why she's one of the most tenured and one of the best in the West. She knew coming in tonight it was going to be a Milligan show. She knew that Milligan had to step up and have a game if the Marauders were to be successful to try to combat the tough front court lineup of these Mustangs. Here's Molden working real hard on Bonomo right there. Self, nice roll by Rondinelli, goes up, no whistle at all. And Smith able to take the ball up for the Marauders. Here she is trying to get a step on Self. Looking for the whistle, no doing there. Moss clears the board to the speedy Molden. I tell you, Beth, watching Bonomo and Molden going at each other right here, two Minimites that are just absolutely lights out quick on that court.
And they're used to that. They both played for Rich Wieslowski over at St. Mary's, so they had at least 1 year together.
Wieslowski certainly one of the better coaches in that Hamilton area, providing numerous players off those decorated St. Mary's squads to the OUA and abroad. Lob inbounds for Rondinelli. Anderson curls. That is Iafroni trying to keep up with the much quicker Anderson right there. Iafroni, former OCAA player at Mohawk, but there's Parks going hard left hand off the glass.
That'll be key for Western to get Parks off to a good start tonight.
Here is Bonomo surveying the Mustang D. Molden checking her. Milligan up top. Little curl action run by the Marauders off the top, and the Mustangs have seen that before. That's a staple in the Mustang offense. Unfortunately, middle curl catches the defense sleeping. Rondo inside, great feed from Anderson, and Rondinelli gets herself a trip to the free throw line. That play brought about by the nice pass right there by Amanda Anderson. Quick pause in the action here. Substitutions coming into the game in between the free throws. Rondinelli sitting at the free throw line. And there you see that great drop by Anderson, finding the teammate cutting down from the top, and Rondinelli unable to get her arms extended and get the ball up to the rim. 18-8 the score. The Marauders over the Mustangs right now at Alumni Hall, and certainly a fast start for these Marauders as they have been shooting the lights out and getting anything they want offensively. Letty checks back into the game for Rondinelli.
Let's hope Letty can make some adjustments and keep the ball out of Haley's hands. Seems for the first quarter that Haley Milligan's been hurting them the most. So
Milligan certainly 6 or 8 there already. We're going to check those stats at the quarter break, and she is absolutely having a day. Nice backdoor, but Letty gives it the forearm shiver. Leger buries the opportunity. Her second bucket of the game. Smith ready to come back in after a real quick rest for McMaster. Mustangs trying to capitalize while Smith's out. Letty off the roll. Nobody going to the basket. Parks was sitting at the arc. She had a wide open lane. Molden hard to the hoop and looks at the ref for help while Parks takes care of the loose ball. Coach Barry up off the bench right now. Beth can't believe the whistles aren't going the way he thinks they should be. Bonomo. That ball's off to Burns. Burns finds Milligan going hard to the hoop. Nothing but air, and here comes Anderson blazing up the sideline, just running away from the pack. Self in the corner. Skip pass for Molden. Nice entry for Letty. Lefty up and down.
great ball movement there by the Western Mustangs.
The Marauders just lost complete track of Caitlin Letty. And we're going to have Minnick come back into the game shortly as well. 3 subs lining the court now for the Marauders, as there are a couple of girls out there that need a break.
Marauders are a very young team. They only have Taylor as a 5th-year player, and Lisa. She's played 5 years, both with the CIS and OCAA. So most of their leadership is coming from Taylor Smith. So they're going to miss her a lot next year.
Nice ball screen by Parks into the kick ball. Will reset the shot clock. 37 seconds left in a terrifically paced opening half. pardon me, opening quarter, as this first half is shaping up to be a dandy. 23-13 the score in favor of the visiting Marauders. You see Molden on the penetration, token D by Milligan, but then Bonomo stepping in and getting the foot in the way. Wrong season, wrong sport, possession Mustangs. Anderson working the ball into Letty. Letty with a mismatch, goes hard baseline, double teamed, and able to throw it off the thighs of a Marauder player. Maintain possession for the Mustangs. Real nice job by the Marauders right there, Beth, using that baseline as the third defender with the trap. There's Mallon on the inbound. Anderson,
see if they can get Anderson a shot here.
Park secures the ball, 12 on the shot clock. Middle, wide open, nice strip by Ivronne. Mustangs maintain possession, 9 seconds on the shot clock. And like you just said there, Beth, look for the ball to be in the hands of Anderson with the shot clock winding down. As we see on the replay, Parks wide open lane to the basket, but Ivronne able to get a piece of the ball. Here is Anderson, curls hard, gets nothing. Shot clock winding still. 2 seconds on the shot clock, and possession will go to the Marauders. Shot clocks are off, 14.9 seconds left in the opening quarter. It will be sideline possession for the Marauders. Becky Williams picking up Smith in the backcourt.
Yeah, let's see if the Mustangs can hold them to 23 this quarter.
A stop here would be great for the momentum. High screen set by Rosenkrantz. Smith with the ball working against Letty. Puts up the shot over Letty, no good. Ivronne tracking down the loose ball. Scramble for it, three goes up. And no good at the buzzer. The final horn of the first quarter goes. 23-13 the score of the Marauders over the Mustangs after 10 minutes of action. But come on back and join us for second quarter OUA Women's West Basketball here on Rogers TV. And welcome back here to second quarter action here at Alumni Hall in beautiful London, Ontario. It is the McMaster Marauders 23, the Western Mustangs 13. And Beth, really, the Marauders getting everything they wanted offensively.
Oh, they're shooting close to 60% from the field. They're really getting the ball inside to Haley Milligan, and that's what's hurting the Mustangs the most.
Milligan in that opening quarter with 8. Leger off the bench with 9, going 4 of 4 from the field. Haley Milligan 4 of 5. And Taylor Smith already with 3 assists in this young ball game. For the Mustangs, really a team effort. Coach Barry mentioned before the start of the evening, he said he knew coming in that it would have to be an entire team effort, and everybody tonight would have to put a chip on the table for them if they were to be successful. And certainly the scoring spread out already. Letty with 4, Parks with 4, 3 for Rondinelli, and a pair for Williams. So Anderson held quiet there in that opening quarter. 0 for 3 from the floor. We'll look to get her started up here in the second half. Pardon me, the second quarter. Anderson, good look. Smith under the screen. Here comes Parks down the middle. And a whistle off the ball right there. Looks like it's going to be an offensive foul called on the Mustangs right here. Possession over to the Marauders. Parks whistled for the foul. Now that's a case right there, Beth, if I'm not mistaken, of Parks getting off her feet and getting caught in a bad spot, and good anticipation by the defense.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you should never leave your feet if you're going to make a pass. It's always a situation where you might get caught.
Here is Ivory working against Anderson. Nimick down hard on the right side. Nice job. Caitlin Letty stepping in, giving up the body. Offensive foul with that. Let's take a quick look here at how tightly these two match up in the OUA West women's basketball standings. There you see Mustangs sitting in second position right now with 14 wins on the season. They are guaranteed a playoff spot, but that spot is still to be determined. With 4 games left, there are 3 teams that could catch or even surpass them, including the McMaster Marauders, who are sitting tied for third right now at 11-7. So a huge game with tremendous positioning implications tonight. Parks now with the ball. Little miscommunication there. Coach Barry's not going to be happy seeing that, having 3 of his players guarded by a single Marauder. Taking a look now, here are the Eastern standings in the OUA Women's Division. The Ravens have locked it up. They are going in as the #1 seed. They have cracked the CIS top 10 for the first time in their program's history. Congratulations, head coach Taffy Charles, and the terrific job you've done up there. As we see the Marauders working hard. Lots of contact, no whistles brewing. Leger hoping to continue her hot night. Nothing but air, ball out of bounds. Terrific hustle by Ivroni, but turn it over to the Mustangs. Over in that Eastern Division, just quickly, it is Carleton that we saw on top. Laurentian and Queens, along with Ryerson, trying to fight it out for the #2 spot, all with identical 12-8 records. Close behind Ottawa at 11-9. So a tight race in the Eastern standings. Mustang turnover once again. Here is Smith with the ball. Only 3 turnovers by Mac in that opening quarter, but 5 by the Mustangs. And Coach Barry is going to be
and
pushing
another
ball
charge
security.
for Letty. Great position by Letty. She got right in there and earned her second charge of the game.
Caitlin Letty getting it done defensively. And when the offense isn't going your way, Beth, is it true that defense can lead to easy baskets?
It's great when someone steps up like Letty has. She probably takes a charge every game.
Caitlin Letty doing a job just like we've seen Andy Wiedemeyer on the men's team often stepping in and taking the contact. 2 players both counted on for their offensive contributions to the team. There is Self with a pretty little jumper, no good. Anderson mixing it up for the loose ball. Comes away with it, and here is Self. Likes the 3 a little better. Put it up, put it down, Jackie Self. Just to finish the top, both Letty and Wiedemeyer, 2 offensive players, but terrific jobs at anticipating defensively, able to give up their body, take a hit, and turn the ball over for that ball club. So 2 players that give a lot.
It's great to see a local kid, too. Her and Becky Williams, 2 local London natives here playing for the Mustangs.
Anderson trying to get herself started, and no better way for her to do that than to earn a trip to the free throw line. Anderson certainly can make a living out there on the season. She is 83% from the charity stripe, 39-47 coming into tonight's action. Nice job just pushing the pace there. Iazroni forced a foul. Beth, during your playing career, you had a couple of seasons overlap with Amanda Anderson over her 5-year tenure. What was it like having to go against a player that caliber in practice?
Oh, it's tough. It's tough. Her and Vass Lennox, I both played. Actually, Anderson, a roommate, a great friend of mine. Toughest player I've ever played against.
No better compliment from a teammate than someone that you hate playing against in practice, isn't there? Smith pushing back quickly for the Marauders. 23-18. The Mustangs on a 5-0 run to open this second quarter here. That is Milligan. Throws it away into the hands of Anderson. Anderson takes a bit of a chokehold from Smith. No whistle. Going hard at Milligan is Anderson. Unable to get the curl. Letty offensive rebound. No good. Milligan swipes the glass.
Those will drop for Anderson. They always do. So look for her to put up some big numbers in the second half and in this second quarter.
Mustangs, interestingly, quite happy to switch off the screens, and here's where Mike Catchum did not get a big body on Milligan on the box out. If you're switching, you must find a way to control the boards, and the offensive rebounding will kill you. Bonoma with the turnover. Mac possession. Smith taking it on the wing, right at Anderson. Curls off the screen, no good. Moss in to clear the rebound. Here comes Self pushing hard. We've got a 2-on-2 situation for the Mustangs. Swing it to Anderson. Unfortunately, could not get a great pass off in that situation. Could Self. Anderson unable to launch the 3 that she was looking for. Here is Letty post entry. Squares on Milligan. Iavroni over to help, and they know Letty loves spinning back to that baseline. They've got the book on her.
Mustangs need to look to crash the offensive board. They had 4 players standing outside the three-point key there, so.
And Bonomo puts it up, no good. Moss with the rebound. I'll tell you, it seems like Mac is the only team in the league that remembers Letty's left-handed. Anderson spotting from 3 feet set, knock it down. And a whistle after the basket. We've got a chance for the ever so rare 4-point play. We'll see if we can get another look at that for you folks at home. Just a terrific job by Anderson. Feet set behind the arc, gets it up, takes contact after the shot was released. And with the shot going down, it will be an opportunity for Anderson to take one from the free throw line. We're going to take a timeout here called by the Marauders, coming back with Anderson's free throw attempt for that 4-point play. But we're going to throw things over to Patrice Whiffen. Patrice. Take a look now on the court tonight. All of a sudden, the Mustangs putting together a nice little run here. An 8-2 run opening this quarter, almost 4 minutes into the second quarter. Getting it done by the looks of things with Anderson starting to put a stamp on this game.
Yeah, they tend to chip away at that lead, and before you know it, they'll be right back in this game. So
now
look for Anderson to cut it to 3 points here.
Take us back inside the huddle, if you could, back from your playing days. We know that Coach Barry loves stress and defense. A huddle like this right now, he's putting his best shooter to the line, knows she's going to knock one down. What's he like in telling his girls about this next defensive possession?
They need to get a stop here.
(25-21) the score here for the Mustangs, trailing right now. Amanda Anderson going to the line. She's on the floor with Molden, Rondinelli, Moss, and Self. On the court for the Marauders, it is Smith, Iavroni, Milligan, Leger, and Bonomo. And certainly we've had terrific pace to this ball game here tonight on senior night at Alumni Hall. Anderson at the line, taking her 83% season percentage, trying to cut the lead to 3. No doubt about it, Amanda Anderson. Full court pressure applied by the Mustangs. Smith being marked by Anderson. That great battle of 2 fifth-year players contending for OUA Player of the Year status. Rotation, Leger, so smooth. That's 2 from the same spot tonight.
She's on fire tonight. Another rookie out of Hamilton.
She had 9 in that first quarter, got at least 12 now. Leger doing a job. Speaking of job, here is Moss working against Iavroni. Chance to put it to the deck. They had a bit of a clear out happening. Rondinelli sneaks in, double team comes. Self able to corral the loose ball. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Feet set, Anderson, no good. And the Marauders clear the rebound. Nice hustle, Jackie Self saving a possession for her teammates.
Oh, Jacqueline's just a great all-around player, great passer, great shooter, great defender. The Mustangs are lucky to have gotten her.
I know Coach Barry, as hard-pressed as he is going to be to replace players like Anderson and Parks, here is Self. Drop it down from 12 feet. The future is certainly very bright with a player of Jackie Self's caliber waiting in the wings and ready to take an even larger role offensively next year. And we'll be joined, of course, by Jenny Vaughn coming into play for the Mustangs next year after having sat out this season sitting on the bench right now. Turnover there by the Marauders. Unable to get the whistle was Smith. She went in looking for contact. Burns asking the officials how they couldn't see it. She could hear it from her bench. And the Marauders a little tit for tat now, applying their full court pressure. Moss to inbound. Here comes Molden. I tell you, Beth, Molden sure is a one-man press break, isn't she?
She sure is. They're sure glad to have her back this game.
Molden having battled some injuries this year. Self going hard to the rack, right hand, no good. Offensive board, takes 2 in the back, and she'll go to the line for a pair. Well, there it is. You mentioned it, that all-round game from Jackie Self, working hard, getting an offensive shot for herself, and going after her own rebound. Jackie Self, with her size, strength, and athleticism, a player that poses matchup problems for every position on the floor, and one of those special players that can create her own shot against any defender. You go small and quick on her, she'll take you downtown. You want to play big, she'll pull you out to the perimeter and be able to get one step right by you. She is an exciting player, and she is certain to have an exciting career here in the purple and white. 28-25, the Mustangs pull within 3. 4.5 minutes to play here at Ormond Hall in the first half. Just a reminder to our fans, there's Smith pulling just inside the arc. The long 2 goes for Smith. At halftime, we will have coaches' interviews from both the McMaster Marauders and the Western Mustangs, and we will have a sit-down chat with head coach Steph Berry that will be featured at halftime, so be sure not to go anywhere, fans, as we have terrific action coming up at halftime on Mustang Sports. Rondo with the offensive rebound. Melissa Rondinelli getting her nose dirty, working hard. Moss hits the deck to tie it up. Jump ball possession to the Marauders, and you gotta love seeing that. If you're sitting on the bench right now, Vince, you gotta love seeing your teammates getting dirty and leaving some skin on the floor.
Yeah, that's one thing Steph prides about this program is the hustle and grit that he tries to get out of those players.
It is Park, Self, Anderson, Molden, and Moss out there for the Mustangs. For the Marauders, it is Burns, Bonomo, Smith, Leger, and Milligan. Smith gets a step on Anderson. Bonomo with the curl inside the arc. Drop it down there. Just tickling twine tonight here at Alumni Hall. The Marauders shooting the lights out. As we said, 58% in that first quarter, and they've got to be coming real close to that now in the second as their shooters have been heating up, and there is Parks. Throw on the shoulder, called for the illegal screen. Bonomo gets the worst of that hit. Marauder possession on the side. Taking another look right here. You see Parks come up. Watch the right shoulder right there. Extends the elbow outside the body. You'll see another look. Great angle right here from our terrific volunteers here on Rogers TV. Bonomo doing a nice job of making sure the referees saw the good contact right there. Earns her team an extra possession, and that earns Parks another sit down beside Coach Barry. Into the forest goes Smith, no good. Milligan able to come away with the rebound, and Anderson's going to get whistled there for the foul as she got caught with her hand in the cookie jar. Mack a chance to really pump this lead back up. 32-26 the score right now. Chance to add a couple more from the free throw line with Haley Milligan.
Milligan a transfer from Canisius, I believe.
Milligan having herself a nice season, shooting over 40% from the floor. Only 64% from the free throw line, though, and that does seem to be a bit of an Achilles heel for these McMaster Marauders, is their free throw shooting. For a team that has such a terrific scoring average, averaging 70 points a ball game on the season, only 64% from the free throw line. So certainly a team that is missing opportunities when they get there.
And Western's not far. They're only shooting 67%.
Shooting in those 60s, certainly real frustrating point to any coach and coaching staff, as those shots are absolute gimmies sitting there at the stripe. And when you earn yourself a number of trips, you want to make sure you are converting. The Mustangs average 17 trips to the line per ball game. The Marauders do average over 22. That's good for 5th in the country. Unfortunately, just not able to do enough with those appearances at the charity stripe. Here is Molden. Becky Williams set the check back in. 7-point lead for the Marauders. Molden and Bonomo working hard on each other. Right side kick for Anderson. Wide open. There he is. Amanda Anderson left all alone weak side, and you can't do that against a player of Anderson's status. 32-28 the score. 4-point lead for the Marauders. Western just chipping away at that 10-point deficit they had coming into this second quarter. They want to do their best to get themselves a little bit of a lead going into the halftime break. And there is Self with the steal. Breakout opportunity for the Mustangs. Anderson all alone left side once again. Can't find her. Nice look off right there. Nearly got the ball into Letty. Nice job with the eyes by Self, trying to move the defense like a good quarterback would. There's Bonomo working for the easy 12-footer. Finds herself all alone. Nice stop and pop right there. Indefensible shot. Molden now. Anderson on the sideline. Double screen being set. Gets ISO'd against Burns. Spins back, nothing doing. Post entry for Letty. One-on-one opportunity for Letty, a rare one-on-one opportunity, and she cannot convert as Milligan did a job right there. Milligan seemingly a little tired right now. She is walking around looking for a break by the looks of things. And we will have substitutions coming in here for the Marauders. Checking in is Iavroni along with Rosenkrantz. On the court right now for the Mustangs, we've got Williams, Anderson, Self, Moss, and Letty. And Coach Barry with that lineup is going to call a timeout. And with that, we're going to throw things over to Patrice.
Coming off of a loss into this game. That was February 6th that they played the Brock Badgers in St. Catharines. They lost with a score of 74-61, so it was pretty close, but not close enough to, of course, come and get the win in that game. So McMaster is looking to pick up the win tonight in London against your Western Mustangs.
Well, thank you, Patrice. Just minute 39 left to play here in the opening half, Beth. The Mustangs have done a real nice job chipping away into this lead. Two-possession ball game right now with that 6-point lead for the Marauders. Coach Barry coming out of the timeout. What are we coaching up right now? Are we looking defense right now, or are you talking offense in this huddle to make sure you get a basket on your next possession?
First, the Western Mustangs need to make a stop here, and then look to chip away at this lead and get it closer and going into the half.
It will be Marauder possession on the end line. Minute 39 to play. Lots of time left for these Mustangs to pull a little closer. It is a lineup of 4 shooters out there for Western.
Look for a design play for Anderson herself coming down on this next offensive trip for the Mustangs.
Anderson himself, certainly the names you've heard here in the second quarter for the purple and white. Here is Iavroni, spots from 3, knock it down, Lisa Marie.
That doesn't help the Mustangs. They need to get out on their shooters, as they've been just shooting the lights out tonight here in Alumni Hall.
Here comes Jackie Self, spinning back, finds Anderson, weak side corner. Here's Moss on the curl. Front rim no good. Letty rips the board away from 2 Marauders. And Self at the top, finds a hole, goes hard at the rim, no good. Letty tries to keep it alive. But Burns will clear for the Marauders up into the hands of Swift. Pardon me, Smith, of course. And Self able to clear the rebound for the Mustangs. She'll slow things down. 45 seconds left to play in the opening half. 9-point lead for the Marauders. Pulling up for the elbow J, and that is just too sweet. Jackie Self, she can produce that one anytime she wants. She can get that shot. Real nice job cutting back into this lead. And we're going to take a quick look at Western's last game and throw things back over to Patrice.
Your Western Mustangs are coming off of a win that was again on February the 6th. It was Jam the Gym night, and your Western Mustangs took the win over the Guelph Griffins with a score of 70-47. So it was a great win for your Western Mustangs in front of a pretty packed house, about 900 fans in the stands for that particular game. And your Western Mustangs are now on a 3-game winning streak, so they're looking to pick up the win tonight as well. We'll throw things back over to Kevin.
Thank you, Patrice, and certainly Western having themselves a nice little go of things. Their last loss actually to these McMaster Marauders, 71-66 on January 23rd. Since then, Waterloo, Laurier, Brock, and Guelph have all fallen victim to the Mustangs. Doing a nice job on home court, going 8-1 over the course of the season. Have the Mustangs so certainly doing a good job of taking care of business at home. On the other side, McMaster only 5-5 on the road. Mixed results the last couple of games, as we've heard from Patrice already this evening. So certainly the Mustangs hoping to play the percentages tonight. But when we say percentages, first thing that jumps to mind, of course, Smith, you look at the shooting of these Marauders, and they have found themselves wide open on the perimeter all night. How have they been getting these wide open looks?
Mustangs need to do a better job at communicating out there. They need to recognize who's got the hot hand tonight, and it seems like Leger and Lisa.
Inbounding the ball are the Marauders. Smith working against Moss. Mustangs into a bit of a 3-2 zone here. Smith rotating the ball around. And we have 3 in the key called on the Marauders. Somebody losing track of where they were. 7-point ball game, 37-30, 26 seconds left. If you're head coach Steph Barry, do you go do you try and get a quick one off right here or run the clock down?
He's going to run the clock down, see if he can get a good shot here. Cut it down to 5 or 4.
Here is Anderson. Nice screen by Letty. Closed off there on the penetration by Burns. Terrific defensive job by the Marauders. Letty, 3-on-1, keeps the ball moving, and she gets the arm swing and called for the offensive foul. She got the elbow up just a little too high on that one. Caitlin Letty able to take him, already picking up 2 charges on the afternoon, and now she is whistled for the offensive foul. Ball already inbounds. Substitution cannot come in for the Mustangs. And here we have a bit of an accident at the scorer's table. Clock starting inadvertently.
Coach Barry trying to get Melissa in there. Doesn't want Letty to pick up her 3rd personal foul with only 5 seconds left on the clock.
And now with that mistake, looks like it's going to be a fortunate mistake for these Mustangs, as that does allow Rondinelli to come into the ball game in place of Letty. Letty with those 2 fouls. Coach Barry not wanting her to pick up a cheap 3rd going into the half. Coach Burns calling Ivoroni over real quick, looking for a quick play. Watch for Burns to try and seal Self down there on the block and keep Ivoroni open in the corner for the 3.
You also got Emily Leger on the court. She's got the hot hand this half.
Moss will mark the inbounder now. Smith able to pick it up right away. They are looking for Ivoroni. Nice curl for Leger under the arc, puts it up. No good. Tipped away by the Mustangs. And the final buzzer goes to end the first half. But after 2 quarters of play, it is the McMaster Marauders 37, the Western Mustangs 30. Don't go anywhere, fans, as when we come back, we will have Patrice joined by the visiting coaching staff and much more to come here in Mustangs at the Half on Rogers TV. At Alumni Hall, 37-30 the score. The McMaster Marauders over top of your Western Mustangs, and certainly shooting the name of the game right now, as we've seen that the McMaster Marauders are really tearing up the nets right now, shooting to the tune of 47%, and Beth really getting anything they want in this opening frame.
Yeah, the Mustangs are going to look to tighten it up on defense, not giving the Mustangs such open looks, and getting the ball inside. The Marauders did a great job getting the ball inside early on to Milligan. Western's got to do the same thing with capitalizing with Parks and Letty inside.
It was Milligan and also Leger. Leger coming in off the bench, stepping into an opportunity perhaps created by the absence of Riwi. And it was Leger leading the team with 12 points in that first half, 10 for Milligan. For the Mustangs, really Amanda Anderson and Jackie Self doing a job in that second quarter right there.
That's no surprise there. Amanda, leading scorer, almost averaging 19 points a game, and she's in the hunt for top player scoring in the whole CIS. So let's see if she can get close to her average, around 18 points per game.
Now, if you're the Mustangs looking ahead now to the third quarter, Beth, what adjustments are you making defensively in particular to try to slow down this Marauder attack?
You got to get the ball out of Taylor's hands. She's making all the plays happen, getting Emily the ball, getting Haley the ball down low. So see if you can get the ball out of Taylor Smith's hands.
And the man responsible for making those changes at the half, head coach Steph Barry. I had a chance to sit down with him earlier in the week to discuss his thoughts on Western basketball and all the fun he's having here in the purple and white. Enjoy.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Meet the Mustangs. My name's Kevin Gordon and it's my great pleasure to welcome alongside me this afternoon head coach of the women's basketball program here at Western, Stephen Barry. Steph, thank you so much for joining us today.
Always a pleasure, Kevin.
Coach, you've got just a terrific team out on the floor again this year. It seems that you've gotten into a cycle here at Western where it's a matter of reloading every year rather than rebuilding. Wondering if you could let our viewers in on some of the challenges that you faced recruiting into such a successful program and being able to maintain such a high level of excellence with the great players you've been bringing in.
Well, I think it's twofold. I think first of all, Western is an easy place to recruit to in one sense. I think the school itself attracts kids, attracts a lot of basketball players from the southwestern Ontario region just on its own for its academic programs and the strength of its reputation in the academic field. For us, the challenge is trying to find kids that are the right fit with what we're trying to do, where we're trying to take the program, and that is not an easy task no matter where you are. You really have to try your best to get to know kids when they're in that high school developmental stage and really pick out the ones that you feel are going to fit in best with your style of play, your style of coaching and how that works. And we've certainly been very fortunate to land some very talented players, but more importantly, I think some players that fit in with the overall culture we're progressing towards here. And I think that's been the biggest achievement, is really like kids that buy into what we're trying to do, because we certainly feel it's not an easy program to play in. I always say that, and I tell recruits that all the time. It's not a glamorous type of thing. It's a very time-consuming, all-encompassing experience. So it takes a certain kind of person to get through it.
Now, with those certain types of people that you mentioned, something that jumps off the roster to some of our viewers certainly is the fact that you've been able to attract some terrific talent that has spent time at other institutions. Is that something that, as a coach, is always on your radar, keeping good ties with players who may have tried it out at other schools and are now looking for a different experience and coming to Western?
Well, I think the reality is probably kids who go to the NCAA. I don't think we've lost too many kids that we've really gone after to other CIS schools. I think we've lost some kids to the NCAA, and that's it's a different type of competitive environment when we're trying to recruit against those schools. So it is important to keep the ties, but I think realistically, if you've built a good relationship, and we usually recruit kids starting in grade 10, so there's usually about a 2-year, 3-year cycle of us being in contact, us getting to know their families. So that bond is pretty built up by the time they go, and obviously some of the kids, they go and it works out and we're happy for them. They found the right place, and some kids it doesn't, and those kids have gone back to the relationship that we had before they left, and usually it's not much of a decision, because had they stayed in Canada, they were coming to Western in the first place, and that's always been sort of what they've said. If I come back, I'm going to be coming to Western, so we know that's there when they go.
Now, we talk about transfers, and some of our younger viewers might not realize that you yourself were once a transfer to the University of Western Ontario men's basketball program, having spent a year at Humber College playing under legendary coach Mike Cates, and then coming to Western to complete your academic studies and your basketball career, in fact, in your final graduating year, leading the CIS in three-point field goal percentage. Would you care to let the viewers in, perhaps, Steph, what was it that factored into your decision to come to Western as a player?
A girl. The girl I was dating at the time went to teachers college here, and I had 2 years of eligibility. My story is pretty complex and much too long to go into detail, but I was at a few schools before I ended up at Humber as a post-grad. Did 1 year under Mike, and the girl I was dating was going to teachers college the following year at Western. I had 2 years of eligibility left, and felt that I certainly had improved as a player, so I came here, and I was fortunate enough to play for Coach Boydell and a Mustang team for 2 years that was one of the top teams in the country. So that was a great experience, and what leads you some places is might be fate or destiny or whatever it might be, but it happened to be the girl I was dating who probably was responsible for me landing up at Western, and the rest is history. If I hadn't played here, I don't think I'm sitting here right now with this job and this opportunity, so things kind of work out in funny ways.
We'll be sure to send her a thank you card if we can track her down. You mentioned playing for head coach Craig Boydell, over 300 wins in his CIS coaching career. Coach Mike Cates at Humber, and we've talked about the accolades that he's received, being a member of the national men's coaching program for many, many years. How have these two coaching legends in Canada basketball, perhaps, how have they influenced you as a coach now as you began your young coaching career?
Well, I think more than anything, when you play for them, and certainly they were at one at Humber, one at Western, two different environments, and but you see what it takes to be successful, how to run a successful program, and that's what you take in. And there's not one particular way, but there always are similarities in terms of the commitment level, the expectations you put on your players. Communication, I think, was one key for both coaches. They communicated very well in different ways, but certainly were very effective. Craig was a tremendous teacher. Our team offensively was as fundamentally sound as any team that I've seen playing CIS basketball, and he was known for that, and he taught it exceptionally well. Mike was a little bit more of a, he had a fire in him, a passion when he coached, and you learned how he could kind of motivate and inspire people that way. So you take bits and pieces, but the overall programs were just both very well run. All the other components in terms of being out in the community, the overall perception of how you run things was very crisp on both sides. So that was what I took, and I've maintained pretty strong relationships with both those guys, and they're both people I talk to, and who certainly give me their feedback and advice, and it's always something I welcome because of the experience and knowledge they have to offer. So.
I'm here with the Western Mustangs assistant coach Matt Spencer. Matt, you guys are currently down right now, not by a huge amount. What do you think you did well in the first half?
The first half, I thought we did a decent job at times of attacking the rim. That's part of the game plan, is to try to get to the rim. We have to make sure we continue to do that, and if we're not scoring, then hopefully we're going to start getting some calls.
Does your 3-game winning streak kind of add a little bit of pressure, or does it just motivate you guys?
I think in a game like this where you're playing another top team, it's really irrelevant. I think more than anything, if I was going to talk about a streak, it's the fact that they lost coming in. So they're hungry, and we certainly have to match that.
Are there any players on MAC that you think have played particularly well in tonight's game?
Oh, there's no question about it. Number 6, Legier, I think she's got 12 points here at the half. That's above her season average for a half of basketball.
What about the Western Mustangs?
Yeah, again, it's Amanda played pretty decent. I think Jack has 8 points, and so we're going to continue to try to ride those two, and we have to find a bit more of an inside game.
Now, Amanda Anderson, currently 4th in career OUA scoring. Do you think she has what it takes to kind of make it up to the next couple of positions, potentially like 2nd or 3rd place?
Yeah, I think she'll. I mean, if she continues on with her season average right now, she's on pace to overtake third. And if she picks it up just a little bit down the stretch, she'll catch second. And you know, for somebody who's put in 5 years, you sure hope that happens for her.
What advice did you have for the girls in the dressing room?
The same thing I just said. We want to continue to push the basketball and try to get in the lane and make plays there.
Great, thank you so much. We'll take a quick break here on Rogers TV and be back with more Mustang sports. TV to Western Mustangs versus the McMaster Marauders here at Alumni Hall on the beautiful UWO campus. Your Western Mustangs women's team currently in halftime of the game against the McMaster Marauders. That's the first game of the doubleheader action here on Rogers TV. We'll throw things over to Kevin Gordon and Betham Jenkins for the call on their second half.
Well, thank you very much, Patrice. And what a second half. It's shaping up to be a 7-point lead for the visiting Marauders as we get set to start the second 20 minutes of basketball. And Beth, we heard it from assistant coach Matt Spencer there at the halftime break, saying that we got to feed our hot hands right now, Anderson and Self. And upon closer inspection of that score sheet, something jumped out about their scoring in the second quarter.
Yeah, the Mustangs, both Jacqueline Self and Amanda Anderson came alive and scored 17 points for the Mustangs. They had 0 points in the first quarter, and all 17 were scored by those two players. So look for them to see the ball more this quarter.
The Stangs did outscore the Marauders 17-14 in that second period. As Beth mentioned, all 17 out of the hands of Anderson and Self. Nice job by Smith, active hands, able to tip that one away from Anderson. 8 seconds on the shot clock, and we know what's coming with Anderson running an inbound here. Look for that curl at the arc, Anderson off the inbound. There is that staple in the Mustang offense. Nice job by Smith to fight off the down screen. Parks forced to shoot a tough one, no good, and Smith pushing back. Here's Iavroni. Stop and pop at the elbow, rattle at home. Lisa Marie Iavroni can get going. Perhaps she'll be able to fill some of the void that might be created by Becky. Whoa, Becky Williams, nicely done end to end with the left hand. Might be able to fill some of that void that has been created with the lack of Sherratt and Riwi in tonight's lineup. Leger has done a terrific job to this point of doing that with 12 points in that opening half to lead the Marauders. However, if the law of averages play out, here is Milligan. No good on her first attempt in the second half. Letty, tough rebound in there against Rosenkrantz.
Look for the Mustangs to push the ball and attack the basket hard. That'll open up some shots for Amanda.
And speaking of Amanda Anderson, touching every part of that rim on the way down. And here comes Smith. Smith working against Williams. Williams with the opportunity to play one of the best in the province. Burns can't believe there wasn't a whistle on the contact from the shooter on that play. She's up to let the rest know. Nice lead pass, Jackie South. Letty unable to convert, but the Mustangs will retain possession on the end line. 39-34 for the Marauders. Mustangs doing a great job clawing their way back in, cutting the lead to a mere 5 points. Anderson finds Letty on the block. A quick double team comes. Ivroni abandons. It's one-on-one. Anderson off the curl. Put it down. Amanda Anderson on fire right now. Give her 13 on the ball game. Taylor Smith, guarded by Becky Williams. The freshman against the 5-year senior. Hope Williams brought her notepad because she's getting a lesson, and there is Rosenkrantz. Nice feed inside, able to convert. Anderson now finds Parks. Parks gets the contact. Rosenkrantz called over the back. The whistle's coming early here, and Burns left shaking her head on the sideline.
As you can see, the Mustangs are looking to go inside way more this quarter and pushing the ball. That's definitely something Steph must have talked about at the half.
Points in the paint will be a key in this ball game, as will bench points. And certainly the McMaster Marauders with a huge advantage there thanks to the play of Legere. Nice skip to the weak side by Mallon. Skip right out of bounds, unfortunately. Turn it over to the Marauders. Just to finish a thought, the bench of the Marauders outscored Western's bench 16-5 in the opening half of basketball. Here is Smith, high post entry from Milligan, who had that great first half. Second on the team with 10 points, led the team with 5 boards. Ivroni, nothing brewing there. Anderson breaking back, 1-on-2, and able to induce the contact. That looks like that's going against Legere, and that will be her 4th foul if that's the case.
That must hurt the McMaster Marauders. Legere, their leading scorer in the first half. She's going to have to sit down for a couple minutes now.
And Burns in no rush to get a sub up on the court. She's just notified by her assistants now. And here comes the sub at the bench.
Let's see if Rebecca Rewe and Taylor Sherratt show up.
Anderson able to bury the first one. Burns just cannot believe that there was no traveling violation called on Anderson there on that last one. She thought it was the extra steps that led to the foul opportunity. Anderson lines up her second, good on 2 of 2. She's got 6 points already in this third quarter. Anderson really bringing the fire on her senior night here at Alumni Hall. Into the game is Burns for the Marauders, placing Legere. Full court pressure applied here by the Mustangs. Williams on Smith. That, of course, is the feature matchup right now. Smith, the do-everything point guard for the McMaster Marauders. Interesting to note that these McMaster Marauders will be, there's Ivroni lining up a 3. No good, Milligan fighting inside. Loose ball tracked down by Smith. These McMaster Marauders will be hosting the 2010 CIS Women's Basketball Nationals, and as such have a free pass to the national championships. But of course, just like every other team, they would love to earn their way there, as with Taylor Smith lining up the step back jumper, no good. Moss clears the board. Here comes Williams pushing against Burns.
Yeah, it's great to see that the CISs are coming back to an OUA school.
And Amanda Anderson putting her head down, getting a job done. She will not be denied entry to the paint right now. She's running at these Marauder defenders, Beth, and earning herself freebies at the free throw line.
Seems to be all Anderson this quarter.
That's at least 6 in the quarter she's got already. Chance to add to that. She came into this second half of basketball with 9 points already. She is adding to her team leading total with every bucket. Rare miss on the first opportunity there for Anderson. Anderson, chance to line up, try and make it 1 for 2, and she passed it right there. Smith in the backcourt, checked by Williams once again. Becky Williams is earning her hay tonight, I'll tell you. Milligan with the ball screen, switch off on it. Post entry now for Milligan, who's got Williams on her back. Moss tried to come over and help, but that's poor positioning by Williams right there, really blocking her own teammate out of providing the double.
Rotation was a little bit late on that one.
Letty fighting off Milligan. Wide open pull-up at the free throw line, no good.
Good crash by Letty.
And a terrific job, as you said, Beth. Caitlin Letty getting in there, mixing it up for the offensive rebound. Able to tie up the ball. Jump ball opportunity. This one will go to the Marauders. Taylor Smith pushing the pace. That is Burns, no good. Front iron. Rebecca Moss with the ball. Mustangs down by 4. 4 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Anderson ready to push hard. Post entry for Letty's got one-on-one with Milligan. Loves that spin back baseline and gets this one to drop. No double team on that one. Letty gets the better of Milligan. Jackie Self getting set to check back in for the Mustangs. Swift, a terrific look across the key, and that basket will be waved off. It will be a possession foul. No basket there. Possession on the end line, as I believe that was Nimick. Just couldn't get the ball up in time there for the Marauders. Terrific find on the play by Taylor Smith.
Smith's a great point guard. She just passed the 500 mark of total assists on her career and leads the Marauders all time for assists.
Post entry, Rosenkrantz going hard. Letty trying to draw the contact. No call either way, as that's just two good bigs going at it right there, and the refs electing to let them play on that one. Looked like Letty tried to win the Oscar.
Letty, a great pickup for the Mustangs, transfer from Guelph. She's really helped in their depth, rebounding defensively, and able to put up some good numbers.
And not that you could ever replace a player like a Bess Lennox, OUA West Player of the Year last season, but certainly Letty doing a nice job, giving everything she can to add to the team effort. Anderson, no good from 3, loose ball. And it is Nimick that comes away with it, pushing hard against Mallon. Anderson steps in the way, but it looks like Mallon is going to get called on the hold. Last play on the other end. Couldn't believe with all the contact as we get a look here. Last penetration there by Nimick. You can see Mallon reaching in, 2 hands on the left side of Nimick right there, creating the foul. Could not believe there was no whistle blown with good hard contact going up on the Mustang shooter provided by Burns. Speaking of Burns, here she is. Post entry, Rosenkrantz. Rondinelli appeared to be straight up. That'll get Coach Barry right off the bench real fast. We'll get another look at that one in a moment. Now all of a sudden looks like Rosenkrantz is going to the line, chance for a couple of freebies, and here's that other look we talked about. Watch Rondinelli, hands go straight up, and it is all Rosenkrantz creating all the contact. Well, the left arm extends forward by Rondinelli if you want to get real picky about it. Really, I thought a nice defensive stand.
Seeing Stephanie Lundstrom out there for the first time this game, number 21 from Philadelphia.
Moss with the rebound, finds Self sprinting up that right side. She's got Lundstrom in the corner, can't get it to her in time, double dribble. Self telling the ref, wait a minute, contact created that violation. Ref doesn't see it that way. And full court pickup here by the Mustangs. We get another quick look. Self coming down, there is Burns stepping in, lots of contact, getting her arm under the dribbler. Did Burns, but no call right there. Soft screen by Rosenkrantz, can't find her on the roll. Here's Zaya Brody. Rosenkrantz has Anderson on her back. They can't find her in the post. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Nimick steps in, finds Zaya Brody all alone. No good. Self with the rebound. Nice cross-court pass for Lundstrom. She'll settle things down. Here's Anderson. One dribble, spot up, drop it down. 44-44, tie ball game, Alumni Hall. Western able to chip away. Here comes Taylor Smith up on the left side. Waves off Rosenkrantz, tells her to go down to the post. Rondinelli ready to look at her. Smith trying to shake Anderson, can't do it. Rotation, Iabroni runs right through the defense. Last touch by the Marauders, and that'll give us a quick look here at the last meeting. Pardon me, not the last meeting, but how these two teams stack up in some of the statistical categories tracked here in the OUA. And as you see, in terms of scoring, both of them right up there at just under 70 points a ball game. Defensively, these two teams like to get it done. McMaster, great at creating the turnover, one of the better teams in the league at creating the steal and getting the steal opportunities. They do sit, pardon me, 25th in the league, 9 steals a game.
Great take by Becky Williams there. They're really looking to attack the basket here in this third quarter.
Taylor Smith working hard. There's Rondinelli. And Milligan getting herself going again. Had a great first half. The Western Mustangs don't want to see Milligan get hot all over again. You mentioned that Becky Williams, one of the quicker freshmen in Ontario. Doing a great job of creating her own shot when she can. Nice curl here for Self. Rondinelli with the screen. Self likes the matchup against Smith. She'll try the left side against Nimick. No good. Bonomo with the rebound. Pushes up for Smith on the left side. She's working against Lundstrom. Look out, Stephanie. And that's just too easy, Taylor Smith. Becky Williams now. She'll survey the defense.
Both seniors on the bench right now, Anderson and Parks. They're looking to get them back in quickly.
Self, David, Barry, the jumper. Here comes Bonomo breaking back hard the other way, and that's Lundstrom with the foul. And as you said, Coach Barry wasting no time. Here comes Parks, here comes Mallon. Let's take another look. Self looks like she's going to get a quick break. As we see on this replay, Bonomo just pushing real hard up the right side. Lundstrom providing the contact on the take. And we've seen Lundstrom now victimized back-to-back plays. First by Smith, that one there by Bonomo, having a little bit of a tough time as being one of the Mustangs' depth players, having a bit of a tough time keeping up with these real quick guards of the Marauders. Bonomo good on the first. Bonomo, as we mentioned, in her first year out of Dundas, St. Mary's player. 50-48, Marauders over the Mustangs in what's been just a terrific tilt here at Alumni Hall. And Williams trying to go cross court, throws it away. Iavroni sprinting back. Iavroni loses the handle as she tried to take a turn at Lundstrom. Turn it over to the Mustangs, and with that, we're going to take a quick look at how these teams stack up on the inside.
We got Hannah Lamb at 6'4". She hasn't seen any court time tonight, but she's a local London kid out of Mother Teresa.
Becky Williams once again taking it all the way to the heart of the cup. 50-50. 2.5 to go here in the third quarter. Just a fantastic matchup of two of the better teams in Ontario women's basketball going at one another. Tit for tat, neither team wanting to give too much, and each of them finding ways to be successful tonight. But lately, it certainly has been the Mustangs putting on a bit of a run and have erased the 7-point deficit they saw themselves in at halftime.
Yeah, the Marauders are definitely bigger in size. With Haley Milligan at 6'2", 6'3", going up against Lauren Parks at 6'1". Definitely got the height advantage there, but the Mustangs will continue to battle inside. Look for Lauren, Rondinelli, and Letty, and even Moss to get some key rebounds in this game.
The Mustangs certainly doing it by committee this year, having graduated one of the best ever to wear the purple and white, and certainly the #1 rebounder. Great steal by Rondinelli. One of the rookies that will contribute to the team effort trying to replace that Bess Lennox, the great player we were just talking about, having graduated the program last year, now playing professionally abroad in Europe and Australia. Anderson with the last miss. Smith coming up, hands it off to Iavroni, who got the feet moving a little too fast. Traveling violation. Letty coming back into the ballgame. On the court for the Mustangs, Parks, Mallon, Williams, Anderson, and Letty. For the Marauders, Bonomo, Milligan, Smith, Iavroni, and Burns. And here we have a backcourt foul called on the Marauders. And that will put the Mustangs into the penalty, sending Becky Williams to the line. Pardon me, I was a little quick on the read right there. That is only the 4th foul. The next whistle will put the Marauders and the Mustangs, one whistle either way for the foul, will put both teams into the penalty. Anderson now watched by Smith. And there's Milligan just erasing the screen by Letty. Milligan and Letty having a day going at each other. Coach Barry into the officials' ear. 6 seconds on the clock. 1-on-1 goes to the right hand, and Milligan erases that attempt. 3 seconds now. Mustangs will have to come up with something sneaky on the inbounds. Minute 20 to play here at Alumni Hall. Third quarter, 50-50 the score between the Marauders and the Mustangs. Here comes the inbound, as you see on the replay. There's Anderson. Finds herself at the arc. No good. Offensive rebound, Sarah Mallon. Becky Williams will reset. You saw on that replay, lots of contact inside. It was Letty going right at Milligan, and Milligan able to get a hand on the ball. Anderson goes hard to the baseline, Finds Letty inside, drop it down, and one opportunity. Mustangs in the lead.
Great find by Amanda Anderson.
Taking another look, you see Amanda Anderson working in Gretzky's office on that end line. Finds Letty. Letty softly with the left hand. You see at the end of that replay right there, Milligan talking with her teammate trying to figure out what happened. And the Marauders seemingly caught right there, sleeping.
Seems like the Marauders are focusing too much on Amanda Anderson. She had a hot hand in the second and third quarter now, and it's freeing up some of the other Mustangs.
Feels very much like a Steve Nash opportunity right there, where the one way to get yourself open for assists is to be a threat to score every time. Parks with the tip, no good. That extra free throw attempt coming as a result of the Marauder violation. They were in too early on the free throw attempt. And here we have a foul called on Becky Williams on the defensive end as she was stuck going against Haley Milligan. That's a mismatch 10 times out of 10. She couldn't do anything but hang on for her ride, and Milligan's going to the line. Taking another look at it here. Post entry coming as Bonomo's working at the arc and couldn't quite see it just out of our field of vision there, but working on the block just under the ball. It was Milligan and Williams going at it.
Yeah, that's tough when she's got about 5 inches and about 40 pounds on you.
Not many choices when you're Becky Williams in that situation. 52-50, 52 seconds to play here in the third quarter. The cheerleaders and the fans doing their best to distract Miss Milligan at the line. She's focused, she buries it. 1 point lead for the Stangs. Inbound to come, Nimick comes in to replace Milligan.
It's all right, I'm sure Becky's gonna be hitting the weights this summer.
One of the biggest changes that has to be made when you graduate to CIS basketball, and both Williams and Rondinelli alluded to it in their interview I had with them last week. Nice, up and under Lauren Parks, back iron, no good. Nimick controls the rebound, but both of them talked about the strength of the players and the speed of the game. And certainly weights will be a focus for both of them this offseason. Here is Smith, 30 seconds on the clock. 12 on the shot clock as she looks for the ball screen. Hands it off to Nimick. Rotation for Burns. Nimick flashes through the post, nothing brewing. Here comes Smith. 1 second, has to launch. Able to find a piece of the rim. Nimick with the offensive rebound, put back. 10 seconds left, up by 1. Here comes Williams, last chance for the Mustangs to end the third quarter. Anderson with the ball screen, looking for contact, throws one up, the prayer not answered. 53-52, the Mustangs trail by 1. Don't you dare go anywhere, we got a terrific finish coming up for you here at Mustangs basketball action on Rogers TV. Yep. Am I allowed to threaten the viewers like that? Otters 53, the Mustangs 52. Fourth quarter action on deck here at Alumni Hall. And Beth, I tell you, excitement reigns here in the air. It's senior night. Lauren Parks, Amanda Anderson will be recognized following the game for their terrific contributions to the Mustang basketball program in their 5-year careers. But Amanda Anderson certainly getting her due on the court tonight to the tune of 19 points in the first 3 quarters. Certainly helping herself step up that all-time scoring list.
Yeah, 10 points that quarter. She's right at her season average per game, so let's see if she can increase that with this 4th quarter performance.
She has had the hot hand, balls in her hands right now. She rotates to Parks. Post entry for Letty, who's got Smith on her back. And Letty unable to convert against the much shorter Smith. Wasted opportunity there for the Mustangs. Bonomo breaking back.
It's good to see Malin there crashing the boards.
And Caitlin Letty trying to atone, steps in, picks up her 3rd charge of the game. Caitlin Letty sacrificing the body. That's just terrific anticipation. You see her slide off her man, close down the lane, and does a real nice job of taking the contact. Coach Burns working the officials hard on the sideline right now. Here comes Self, working against Burns, the player, not the coach. Self, high post entry for Parks. Parks has one-on-one and got the pivot foot slid out from under her just a little bit. Turn it over to the Marauders.
Let's see if the Mustangs can limit their turnovers. In that 3rd quarter, they only had 3 and they forced 6. So let's see if they can keep it under 20.
Taking a quick look over that score sheet there, Beth. What else is jumping out at you for the Mustangs?
The Marauders. Actually, the Marauders are still shooting close to 47%, and Western shooting the ball better, but still needs to get more consistent there.
And turnovers a bit of a story for both teams. There is a wasted foul. Lauren Parks getting a little chip in on the end of that play. Nimick has no problem converting with the token contact. She'll go to the line for the N1 opportunity. Rebecca Moss set the check back in. She's having herself a nice evening already. Not able to get herself on the score sheet in terms of points, but boy, she got a job on the glass.
Yeah, Rebecca's been playing great on the glass. She had 17 and 13 just a few games ago. So
other leading scorers for the Mustangs include Jackie Self, 10 points, 6 rebounds in the ball game, 8 points for Letty. Harris Smith working against Anderson. Smith with 6 assists already in the ballgame. Milligan 15 points. Legere with 12 did not score in that 3rd quarter. Backside Nimick cutting in, working against Letty. Nice little up and under. Letty corrals the rebound though. Here comes Self. Coach Barry imploring his charges. Beat these Marauders back offensively. He wants transition basketball, a staple of Steph Barry coach team. There's Letty going hard, left hand. Terrific contact absorbed by the Marauders, and Coach Burns asking why this game isn't being called both ways. Here comes Smith down the heart of the defense, uses the off arm, gets the contact. Coach Barry giving a great demonstration to the officials right now as to what we all saw. However, all that matters is what the man in stripes saw. He saw the foul. That sends one of the better players in Ontario to the line with a chance for a 3-point play.
And that's why she's been to the line so many times. She's great at getting to the hoop and creating contact.
Terrific pace to this ball game. Make that a 2-point lead. Pardon me. A 4-point lead as the scoreboard catches up now. 4-point lead for the Marauders. 58-54. Mustangs trying to keep themselves within reach for that last gasp effort that we know the Mustangs are always good for. Terrific hustle by Self. Cannot keep up with the pass that's thrown away by Williams. And seeing that, Coach Barry calling a timeout at the table. He's seen enough. He's got to settle the troops down. And we'll settle ourselves down with a quick visit over to Patrice Whiffen. Patrice?
Thanks very much, Kevin. We'll take a quick look at the out-of-town other games going on in the OUA women's basketball. We've got the Guelph Griffins at the Laurier Golden Hawks. That game started tonight at 6, so we'll see what the results are for that later. And the Windsor Lancers are at the Waterloo Warriors tonight. So lots going on in the OUA as always. Kevin?
Thank you very much, Patrice. And as our viewers well know, it is those Windsor Lancers sitting on top of the standings right now. 17-1. Mathematically, head coach Steph Barry and his squad could catch them. However, in all reality, it looks like the Lancers have locked up another division title in the OUA West. Everybody else is in a chase position right now.
Yeah, the Mustangs end their season on the road, 3 games on the road, and tough road trip all the way up to Thunder Bay and Lakehead for 2 games there this weekend.
And Lakehead certainly no slouches anymore, Beth. I remember the days where if you went up there and didn't go 2 for 2, it was a failed road trip. Given the length of that trip, however, with the improved teams Lakehead has seen, you go 1 for 1, even if you're one of the upper echelon teams. If you're able to go 1 for 1 on a trip to Lakehead right now, you're coming away pretty happy.
Definitely. I remember those trips to Lakehead. It's exhausting getting on that plane and walking out into a pretty cold environment.
And that's not just the home court, the Thunderdome right there. Thunder Bay certainly posing its challenges on and off the court. The players having to adjust to that trip. Leger with the ball, looking for an opportunity, finds Milligan in the post. There is Smith, little up fake, nothing doing. Quick post entry. Milligan can't find the handle. Letty, terrific ISO defense, Caitlin Letty.
Look for the Mustangs to continue to push the ball.
Nice pass by Self. Moss could not get the shot up. Here comes Letty, no good. Nice job by Milligan keeping her off the offensive glass, but Becky Williams getting in there to mix it up. And a jump ball call. It'll be possession to the Marauders. Nice job by Williams getting in there to mix it up, get her hands on the ball. 58-54, 7:35 to play. As you see there on the replay, Moss, Williams, everybody getting in there trying to create some havoc, get the possession arrow back in their team's favor. And it will be Iovroni to inbound the ball. Smith, Leger on the court, along with Nimick and Milligan for the Marauders. Anderson, Self, Williams, Moss, and Letty for the Mustangs. And it is all-world point guard Taylor Smith initiating. There's Iovroni now with the ball on the wing, looking for Milligan. One-on-one, Milligan the better. Lowers a bit of a shoulder into Letty. Letty trying to do her best supporting actress job there, no good. And Anderson charging right back, goes to the left hand. And there's one way to nullify a solid defender. You take it right into the body and draw some contact.
Yeah, Letty's got a, down at the other end, Letty needs to push out Milligan a little bit so she doesn't have such deep positioning.
Taking a look on the replay, you see Anderson coming hard, crosses over Milligan, goes to the left hand and takes the swipe from Milligan. And that one will be her 3rd foul. Not enough to really put her in great danger yet. However, 3 leads to 4, leads to 5, which takes her out of the ball game. So we'll see how long a rest Coach Burns goes with for her top post threat here tonight. Anderson good on the first, cutting into the lead.
Anderson's gotten to line almost, this would be your 10th free throw.
Anderson just a terrific job tonight of creating scoring opportunities for herself. 7 minutes to play, 4 points the deficit for Western. Anderson watching Smith. Here we have at the elbow, Nimick able to bury the jumper. 6-point lead now for McMaster. Sarah Mallon all alone. Can't pull the trigger, wanted a closer look, but Anderson will fire. She loads it up and drops it down. Amanda Anderson will not go quietly into that good senior night.
25 points on the night, 6 minutes to go.
And Coach Burns before the game said the one thing we can't have tonight, if we're to come away with a win, is to have any player go off for 25 or more against us. Anderson doing her best to prove Coach Burns correct. There is Rosenkrantz, the terrific rookie. Nice spin move. Letty and Moss both in on the contact. Referee's got options. He'll put that win on Letty. No danger yet for Letty, as that is her 3rd personal of the afternoon as well. You see a terrific little spin back to the interior by Rosenkrantz. A real nice looking rookie coming to the McMaster Marauders out of Niagara Falls, Ontario. A terrific club and high school career in the area, and now getting things done in the maroon and gray. 63-59, 6:19 left to play. The officials just making sure that the arrow matches the correct possession for the next jump ball that happens. It is possession to the Mustangs on the next jump ball. Rosenkrantz buries the second, 64-59, 5-point ball game. Here is Anderson streaking up the right side, working against Iovroni. She's had herself a great night. Look for her to want to keep the ball in her hands. Moss high post. Letty left side, giving the rookie a little bit of a lesson. 3-point ball game, 6 minutes to go. Just a reminder, coming up next, we will have Mustangs men's basketball action as Keenan Jeppesen makes his return to Alumni Hall, this time in the visiting uniform. Certainly will be an exciting game. McMaster men, Mustang men, don't miss it. Coming up next here on Rogers TV. Anderson able to clear the rebound, pushing in transition, trying to find Moss. Nice job by Iavroni. Throw it off the backboard, interfere with that pass. And Barry working the officials hard coming down the stretch. Here is Smith working against Anderson. Anderson real quick, but nice step back. Taylor Smith, real tough to defend that one. Anderson with the ball. High post entry for Moss. Moss squares. Letty, nice pin down on the rookie, and that's been working for the last 5 minutes right there, Beth. Letty able to pin the rookie deep, able to curl to that left hand. Milligan's got to come back in to try to slow Letty down.
Yes, the Mustangs continue. She's out there. Let's see what McMaster, see what they can do to change.
And they're going to call a timeout to get their troops organized. And with that timeout, we're going to send things over to Patrice for a look at the Mustang star of tonight's ball game.
Thanks, Kevin. The Western Mustangs women's basketball point guard, of course, Amanda Anderson, is moving her way through the OUA record books. Earlier this season, she moved into number 4th spot in OUA career scoring with, she currently sits at 1,548 spots right now, career points that is. She's averaging about 18 points per game, so that's a pretty competitive player. If you hadn't already realized from watching the game, she is averaging about 18 points so far this season. Again, she's a 5th-year senior, so this will be her last year with the Mustangs, and we're hoping that she can move into that 3rd, 2nd, or perhaps 3rd spot. She currently sits below Brock's Jody Ebeling, who is currently in 2nd place, and of course RMC's Jennifer Donofrio. So we'll throw things back over to Kevin.
Well, thank you very much, Patrice. And Amanda Anderson, Beth, on the season, 2nd in a points per game average in Ontario, and tonight doing everything she can to keep her Mustangs in this ball game. Getting it done behind the arc, step back jumpers, able to get to the rim with authority, earns herself trips to the free throw line. She's just done a fantastic job this night all over the court, in addition to playing the terrific defense that she's always known for playing. Just all in all, an all-star effort from Amanda Anderson tonight. Letty now, up and down on the second one. 2-point ball game, 5 minutes to play in regulation. Smith, little up fake, gets around Moss, pulls up in front of Anderson. It's a battle of the veterans coming down the stretch. Smith and Anderson, neither one willing to let their team sink away. Sarah Mallon drops it down. Terrific lead pass by Williams.
And that's what you're going to expect in a tight game like this. Both seniors going to step up for their clubs.
Mustangs, bit of a zone defense right now. Here is Legere, weak side, turnover right there. Moss comes away with it, up ahead for Williams. Letty running the rim line, up, down, basket, tie game. The Western Mustangs tie it up once again and have a chance with Caitlin Letty going to the line to take the lead.
Great job at running the floor by Caitlin Letty.
And you see Letty right there for all you young forwards at home. She ran rim to rim right there. Get your big, get her on the rim line, and you get her running. Becky Williams, nice job finding her in transition. Anderson, offensive rebound. Chance to make the lead 2 rather than 1. Anderson rejects the screen, goes baseline, no good right there. The Marauders corral the loose ball rebound. Letty did all she could to mix it up. Nice pass, Iavroni. Nimick cannot convert, but Iavroni there for the offensive rebound. Loose ball, Iavroni once again, no good. Milligan trying her shot, 2 chances, the second one goes. Looking like a tennis match under the rim right there. And McMaster back in front, just under 4 minutes to play, 70-68 in this barn burner of an OUA West women's basketball tilt. Moss for 3! Drop it down! Mustangs ahead by 1.
Mustangs need to buckle down on the defensive end, rebounding-wise. They can't allow 4 offensive rebounds like that.
Both teams now surpassing their season scoring averages. We're into the 70s here, a game the Mustangs would love to play. And Becky Williams, sniper on the spot with the steal, one-on-one against Iavroni. Iavroni, terrific hands, runs the ball right out of bounds. It'll be Mustang possession on the end line. Substitutions coming in. Self coming back in for the Mustangs. McMaster with that one is going to call a timeout. We'll step away, take a breath, and send things over to Patrice.
The basketball team is a very talented squad, but of course there are several other sports at Western that don't always get as much TV coverage. One of the teams would be the Western Mustangs women's swim team. They won their second straight OUA swimming championships on February 7th, and the Western Mustangs men's swim team performed pretty well as well, getting a provincial silver medal. The Western Mustangs women's team won all 5 relays in the OUA championships and set an OUA record in 4 of the races, missing the 5th record, but that already was attributed to them in the past. So they missed beating their own record essentially. So that's pretty great for them. Kevin?
Thank you, Patrice. The success of Mustang teams certainly runs deep in terms of history and in terms of the number of teams that we have seen medal at the provincial and national levels. The swim team, congratulations to both the men's and women's programs for yet another fantastic season. And talking fantastic, we're talking some of the best women's basketball you're going to see in the country. Mustangs and the Marauders. And I got to tell you, Beth, full credit to these Marauders right now as they are down 2 starters from tonight's lineup and still find themselves trailing by a single point here with just over 3 minutes to go in this ballgame.
Yes, Kevin. The McMaster Marauders, they're a team that's never going to quit no matter what. If they're down 5 starters or 2 starters, you'll always get 100% out of the Marauders.
Here is Self looking for a Mustang, finds Moss. Self steps in, working against Smith. Letty with the ball screen. And Self able to get the corner against Milligan, pulls it up. No good front iron. Mimic with the rebound. Smith ready to push back for Marauders. Marauders a chance to go back into the lead. This is Burns. Finds Iavroni, post entry. Milligan having herself a day, but can't convert that one. Mimic with the rebound. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Terrific double team by the Mustangs. Creates the turnover. Traveling violation, McMaster.
Great job by Letty and Self to stick with it there, forcing that turnover.
We'll see it on the replay, and you've been calling for it all night, Beth. A defensive stand is the order of the night. The first team to play defense wins, and it looks like the Mustangs are starting to bring it here with just under 3 to play. Williams to Anderson, launches the 3! Is so good, Amanda Anderson. 74-70. Mustangs lighting it up on the alumni court hardwood.
She definitely helped her race in that points.
Anderson steadily climbing the ranks of the OUA all-time greats and doing a job tonight. Cannot wait to see her final tally on the evening.
Close to 30 points now, I believe.
And Milligan with the having such a hot night, finally running out of steam perhaps. Air ball on the last one, Mustang possession. Chance to add, Anderson feeling it, dropping it! Anderson back-to-back threes. The Marauders have no answer for Amanda Anderson, but really who does when she's on fire like this?
It's great to see her have this kind of night on her seniors night. 5 years she's put into this program.
2 minutes on the clock, 77-70. Burns tries to answer from the corner, no good. Terrific job by Nimick getting in there, trying to tip the ball away. No Marauder there to corral it. Mustang possession on the end line. Mustangs with a 7-point lead.
No better time for Amanda Anderson to have a hot hand. 2 minutes left in this 4th quarter with a tight game.
Amanda Anderson, one of the best closers in CIS women's basketball. A phrase we hope to be using with this woman, Jackie Self, in the next couple of years, as she will look to put her mark on Western basketball. Rebecca Moss, put it up. Oh, rims out, cleared away by Smith. Smith gonna take a charge back for the Marauders. 7-point deficit, minute 30. Smith pulls, Smith buries. Anything you can do, I can do better, she says. 4-point ball game, minute 20 to go. Anderson, Smith, dueling it out to the very last whistle. Moss, rotation, Williams with the ball. Finds Self coming up. Here is Anderson on the wing. Ball screen coming, double screen. 5 seconds on the shot clock, foot on the line. No good, Self coming in there, offensive rebound. Back up to Anderson, she'll slow things down for another look. 4-point ball game, less than a minute to play, and the Marauders forced to play the foul game.
Great offensive rebound by Jack himself.
And there is, Beth, one of those little things that we've said in our broadcasts all season. Jackie Self brings a little bit of everything to this Western team. Athleticism, height, strength, intelligence on the court, certainly more than anything else. She has been a fantastic addition to this squad. And with less than a minute to play, we're going to have to take a quick break here as the Mustangs figure things out. And we'll send things back over to Patrice. Pardon me, little technical difficulty in the truck. We're going to keep things right here because we've got such an exciting ball game. 77-73, Beth. 4-point ball game. Mustangs at the line right now. Chance to bury a couple. Chance to extend this to hopefully a 6-point lead. But no matter what, it's a 2-possession game.
Definitely, and she's emphasizing her keys to victory right now in that huddle. Western Mustangs are shooting a great percentage from the 3-point field goal range, and they got to look to key on Amanda Anderson and Rebecca Moss, who've got hot hands from the 3-point.
Now, you've been through, Beth, a couple of senior nights over the past number of years. Have you seen a better senior night performance by a graduating player than the one we're seeing here from Amanda Anderson?
No, I haven't, Kevin, and that's not uncharacteristic of Amanda. She's the type of player that when she needs to step up, she's going to step up, so it's not a big surprise that she's had a great game tonight.
Quick update here from Andy Watson, that wonderful sports information director for the Western Mustangs. On the evening, graduating senior Amanda Anderson, still with 56 seconds to play. 30 points on 8 of 20 shooting. Give her 3 rebounds, 3 steals, and 4 assists as well. And she's at the free throw line with a chance to add to her impressive total. Anderson certainly leaving her mark, not only on Western women's basketball, but on OUA and CIS women's basketball. And giving these Alumni Hall fans something to remember her by in her last home game of her regular season career. Certainly, hopefully, another chance to see her as the Mustangs look to host early round playoff games here at Alumni Hall. Anderson 2 for 2, give her 32 points now on the evening. What a way for a senior to send herself off in her final regular season game at home. 79-73, 2-possession game. Aya Brody trying to cut it to a single possession, no good front iron, but there's Milligan getting in there. And the Mustangs tie it up. And I got to tell you, I'm thinking back right now, Beth, to the loose ball that they tied up on their offensive end a few minutes ago, directly leading to that possession right there. Here is Moss on the inbounds. Ball security, the #1 priority, and it will be the foul game for the Marauders. Unfortunately, the woman they're charged with fouling is one of the best free throw shooters in all of Ontario. Again, coming into the ball game tonight with a terrific percentage on the season, 83%, and certainly having a job here tonight, trying to add to her game-high 32-point total.
Yeah, she's definitely not the player you want to foul.
Anderson ever so smoothly knocks down the first of 2. McMaster, of course, in the penalty, thus creating the free throw opportunities on every foul. FIBA rules basketball, 5 or more fouls in a quarter of play. Puts the offensive team into the penalty. Anderson, good 1 of 2. 7-point ball game. Smith loads, fires, nothing but air. Long rebound. Shot clock reset, not sure why. Here's Smith going hard to the hoop. Able to get it to drop with the left hand. Coach Barry going after the officials right now, asking the same question I did. Why the reset on the possession? Probably meant nothing as Smith was quick to the basket to convert with the left hand there. But Coach Barry will call a timeout so he can settle his troops for this final possession. 80-75 for the Mustangs. Anderson, 33 of those 80 points in the ball game. And I tell you, Beth, we just can't say enough about Amanda Anderson. But on the other side of the coin, how about Taylor Smith right now doing everything she can, keeping her team in the ball game?
Like I said earlier, it's going to be Taylor Smith and Amanda Anderson step up for both of their teams. Taylor, fifth year senior. She's going to do everything she can, whether it's a regular season game or a playoff game or potentially her last game ever as a Marauder. She's going to play 100%.
Taylor Smith, just a fantastic leader for these McMaster Marauders, doing it over her 5-year career. Certainly the counterpart that for years has gone head-to-head, as you mentioned all game, have gone head-to-head with Anderson. Anderson typically getting the better of the battle from the team perspective, of course. But I got to tell you, Taylor Smith doing what she can tonight. 14 points in the ball game to go along with 6 assists and a steal. So Taylor Smith certainly doing a job tonight.
That's right around her average, about 14 and 7. So
surprises for you in tonight's ball game, Beth. I know that Milligan was somebody we talked about in the pregame. Coach Burns mentioned she'd have to have a game. Certainly might put her down as a bit of a surprise. Anybody else that's really jumped off the page for you?
I mean, number 6 from the Marauders, Emily Leger, she stepped up big as Taylor Sherratt, their second leading scorer, is not here tonight. Her and Rebecca Rewe out for this evening due to academic and exam, so they weren't able to make it here at Alumni Hall this evening.
And there is a quick foul by the Marauders. Mustangs were able to inbound at the half-court mark. For our fans who may not be aware, again, that's one of the nice little quirks with the FIBA rules. McMaster had just made the last basket. Coach Barry calls a timeout, and calling that timeout allows him to advance the ball to the half-court stripe, eliminating the possibility of the backcourt press and turnover. Moss goes to the line, misses her first. No chance to extend this past a 2-possession game now. Does knock down the second. It'll take 2 threes to tie it. But anything's possible here in OUA Westwood's basketball between 2 terrific programs. And Anderson leveled by a great screen from Milligan. Smith can't get one away. Finds Nimick. Nimick no good. Self with the rebound. And it looks like this is going to be all over. Clock ticking down. 5.4 seconds. Anderson going with one final trip to the free throw line. She knocks a single shot down, and that's game over.
Yeah, it's great to see lots of alumni in the stands. You can see Dina Kirilski and Megan LaPointe and Dean Perrone here to support Amanda Anderson and Lauren Parks on their seniors night.
And just a reminder, immediately following this ball game, we will take time to honor the graduating seniors of the Mustang women's basketball program, Amanda Anderson and Lauren Parks. 2 terrific players who have done a lot in their 5-year careers, won a number of ball games, and certainly they are chasing a couple of big victories over the last couple of games of this season. As Anderson goes 2 for 2 from the line, give her 35 on the night, make this 83-75 for the Mustangs. Taylor Smith puts up the 3 for good measure, no good, there's the whistle. Mustangs win 83-75. We're going to take a quick break here, but come on back and join us for senior ceremonies here on Rogers TV.
Welcome back here to Alumni Hall. Your Western Mustangs women's team women's basketball team, I should say, just defeated the visiting McMaster Marauders 83-75 was the final score. We'll throw things over to Kevin Gordon and Beth.
Coach Steph Barry, his assistants Matt Spencer, Jackie White, set to honor Lauren Parks. We're going to take a pause up here at the booth as Lauren's family joins her at center court. We'll take a pause here so we can honor and recognize tonight's graduating seniors.
12 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists per game. Off the court, Lauren has represented our program exceptionally well with kids in the London community. When running summer camps or delivering clinics, Lauren has always been a favorite of young girls learning the game. Her energy and enthusiasm would always draw the adoration from her young audience. Coach Steph Barry would now like to present Lauren with a framed jersey as a gift for her outstanding contributions to the Mustangs family. Number 12, from London, Ontario, at this time, I'd like to invite Rick and Brenda Anderson out to center court to join their daughter Amanda and Coach Barry. Amanda Anderson will be graduating from the Faculty of Social Sciences this spring and will leave the program as simply one of the greatest Mustangs to have ever worn a purple and white. After tonight's game, 1,548 career points, but so is the all-time leader in Mustangs history, while also giving her the 4th overall record in the OUA. As well, her 406 rebounds place her as the 9th overall rebounder in Mustangs history. Despite being a true scorer, this unselfish player also dished out a 340 assists as a Stang. This 4-time captain was the CIS Rookie of the Year in 2006, was a second-team All-Canadian in 2006-07, and has been an OUA All-Star each of her years with the Western Mustangs. She has earned herself a reputation as the hardest working player in the Mustang program. The designer pageant season is when she plays is admired by all those who have had the privilege to watch her throughout her career. And has always been a tremendous ambassador on and off the court, representing Mustangs basketball and the University of Western Ontario in countless volunteer engagements in her 5 years here at Western. Next year, Amanda will be looking to play basketball professionally overseas. Coach Barry would now like to present Amanda with a framed jersey as a gift for her contributions as one of the greatest Mustangs of all time. Number 14, from Shannon, Ontario, Amanda Anderson. I would now like to turn the mic over to head coach Steph Barry, who would like to say a few words about his two graduating seniors.
First thing I actually want to say is I just want to take 1 second to acknowledge 2 players that are graduating on McMaster's team, Lisa Marie Ivoroni and Taylor Smith. I want to congratulate you on your careers. You've been exceptional players in this league, and it's always great to have competitors like you in the league, so it brings the best out of every team you play. So congratulations, and best of luck in your future. I also need to thank Mike Milne, who is the reason why that these 2 players are here. They came to play for Mike, and certainly he was a major factor in bringing them to London, and I've been a beneficiary of that for the last 4 years. First off, Lauren, I actually coached Lauren before I was at Western in the summer when she was in high school, and the first thing I thought when I met her was, where do you play this kid? She's not a guard, she's not a forward, she's a little of everything. And I just realized right then and there that she's a basketball player and we shouldn't really try to pigeonhole her in one position or another. She has been a major factor in the success that we've had here the last 5 years. She'll leave here averaging pretty much 10 points and 6 rebounds for her career, and those are great numbers for any player. I want to thank her parents, Henry and Tony, for the support that you've given not only Lauren, but myself and our program over the time she's been here. It really is something that has been important to her. If you know Lauren, her family is so important, and it means a lot to her that you're here today for her. If you know Lauren off the court, she is a very, very big-hearted, kind person, someone that I admire greatly, marches to the beat of her own drummer in a lot of good ways. She loves culture, she loves music, and not only the music that they listen to, like crazy stuff, but she actually knows the word to a few Lionel Richie songs, so I know she really is a connoisseur. If you've ever seen Lauren work with kids, you know where she excels. She has been so good when we've run, whether it be clinics and camps, the energy that she has. She wants to be a teacher one day, and I think she's going to be an exceptional teacher. And I hope that you stay involved in basketball coaching-wise, because I think you have a lot to offer to young female athletes. I think the biggest thing that Lauren's accomplished, and I think it needs praise, is that when she came into school academically, first couple of years, she really toughed it out to get by. And it was with tremendous pride last year that we saw Lauren become an academic All-Canadian. And that's as big an award as anything that anyone's won in our time here. And I think you deserve a lot of credit for that, because you did it through hard work and perseverance. So I want to congratulate you. I want to thank you for all the positive things that you've brought to the program in your 5 years. I certainly wish you the best of luck. Amanda. Well, I mean, what can be said about Amanda that hasn't already been said? All the records and everything that she's accomplished. She's going to leave here as one of the greatest Mustangs to ever play. And I think she's left her mark in the recent era of OUA basketball as well as one of the best players. But more importantly, and what I've been spoiled with and what they've been spoiled with, is seeing her every day. That's far more impressive to me than any award she's ever won. Because in my years of coaching, I've never seen a player who's had the ability to come every single day, in every single drill we've ever done. And I have never seen anything other than Amanda give everything she had, fight like it was her life on the line, and never do anything but. I think that's what has separated her from most of her peers, and I think that that's really what makes her special. She set the standard for work ethic in our program that I will always judge others on, and that impact is far greater than any award we've ever won. I want to thank her parents, Rick and Brenda. I also want to thank the rest of her family, which is usually half the crowd here around my hall. Rick and Brenda have also been incredibly supportive of Amanda, myself, and the program. And if you don't know, Amanda's a farm girl. She grew up on the farm, and I think that the work ethic and the values that she grew up with are the reason she's so successful, so you deserve a lot of credit for that. She is the amalgamation of a complete tomboy and the biggest girly girl I know, and somehow worse, so she'll rip her face off in a drill to get the ball, but she's got to make sure once practice is over that her belt matches her shoelaces, and it seems to work for her. Off the court, Amanda is simply someone who loves life. Nobody in my coaching career has made me laugh more than Amanda. And that's one of the things I will cherish about our relationship, is that we have spent more hours than I can ever figure out together in the gym, in the office, talking about things, and the amount of laughing that we've done has been something that I'll always remember. Personally, I want to thank you. When you get a coaching job and you need to have kids buy in, you need somebody who's got your back. And from the first day, Amanda was the kid who had my back the whole way through. And I couldn't have had any satisfaction as a coach without you, and I appreciate everything that you've done. And I'll leave on this. You may leave here thinking that the impact that people, the coaches, and your teammates had on you was significant. And all I can tell you is it's not nearly as significant as the impact that you've had on us. I think everyone agrees we're better for it. We wish you nothing but the best. We've still got some work to do this year, but love you to death. Thank you.
And one of the things that is mentioned time and again about Western basketball and the University of Western Ontario Mustangs, Beth, is their attention to the details, their respect for tradition and history. And you see it right there. Class act. Head coach Steph Barry first recognizing the graduating seniors for the McMaster Marauders, and then having a moment to recognize two of the finest to wear the purple and white, Lauren Parks and certainly the incomparable Amanda Anderson. And the emotion obvious here at Alumni Hall between the players, the coaches, a former teammate, yourself, obviously feeling the impact of the moment. And certainly we wish both Lauren and Amanda nothing but the best as they pursue all of their future endeavors. We know that we've been watching two of the best, and Amanda Anderson, one of the best in Ontario basketball that we've seen in recent years, and we thank them for all that they've given to the purple and white. Final score in the women's game, 83-75 Mustangs over the Marauders. And Beth, we got to say it again, Amanda Anderson, boy did she go out with a bang.
She sure did, and she will continue to give back to this program along with Lauren Parks, whether it be at a coaching standpoint or just coming out and supporting each and every game.
Taking a look over the final tally, Amanda Anderson good for 35 points on senior night tonight, 17 for Letty, 10 for Self, add 8 boards into the mix for Jackie Self on the evening. And as we said, Taylor Smith did not want to be outdone. She finishes the game with 16 for the Marauders to go along with 6 boards, 6 assists. But it was Haley Milligan leading the way for the Marauders tonight, 19 points in the losing cause. And when we take a look at the career totals now for Amanda Anderson, with that virtuoso performance, she is now only 19 points out of third place all-time in OUA scoring. 41 points away from second spot. Will not be able to catch Cass Carpenter, unfortunately, the terrific Laurentian player for many, many years. However, second spot certainly within reach now with 3 games left to play. Amanda Anderson, we said it time and again, it has been just a terrific career. We thank her for all the great moments she's given us here on Rogers TV. To wrap things up, we're going to send things over one more time to Patrice.
Thanks, Kevin, and thank you to Bethan Jenkins for her call on tonight's game. The women's game will follow things up with the men's game in just a few minutes, but we'll take a quick break here on Rogers TV.